Hello, here goes the second video on documents that matters. Hello guys, here is my second video on documents which are important for an SRE team. So this is part of the series on SRE Demystified, and it is the 13th of this series. The documents, the important documents, are all written very well and summarized in this particular ACM article, Why SRE Documents Matter. I have referred that heavily to get this material out for you guys. In the previous video, we have seen important documents for new service onboarding, running a service, and production products. Let's see the remaining documents now. So documents for reporting service state, yeah, it is very important, right? So reporting a service state, so they need to produce documents to communicate the state of the services they support. The two important documents are quarterly service review and production best practices review. The quarterly service review have information about the state of the service in two forms: quarterly report and a presentation. So the goal is to cover the state of the service review, including details about performance, sustainability, risks, and overall production health. The leads are very interested in quarterly reports because they understand the burden of support, the amount of on-calls, tickets, postmortems, and SRE leads know that when the burden of the support exceeds some percentage, say 50%, they must respond to a change and change the priorities for their teams. It also helps understand the risk, performance, etc. The production best practice review is something that gives SRE teams understand and adapt production best practices and get into a very stable state where they spend little time on operations. So it will include things like team website and charter, on-call health details, projects, interrupts, SLO capacity planning, etc. It helps SRE teams calibrate against the rest of the SRE organization and improve access across key operational areas such as on-call health, projects, interrupts, everything. What about documents for running SRE teams? So the SRE teams need to have cohesive set of documents and discoverable documentation to function effectively as a team. They need a team site, team charter, and this playbook itself. So a team site is important because it provides focal point for information and documents about SRE team and its products. For example, if you take Google, many SRE teams use G3 Doc, Google's internal doc platform, but some teams even use a combination of Google Site and G3 Docs. Team charter, the SRE teams are expected to maintain a published charter that explains the rationale for the team and document its current major engagements. The charter is generally include things like high-level explanation of the space in which the team operates, a short description to the top 2-3 services they manage, highlights key technologies used and challenges in running them, benefits of SRE engagement, key principles and values, links to the team site, etc., etc. And this playbook itself is important. This playbook essentially means a playbook where you are telling everything about SRE. And then finally, you need a new SRE onboarding too, right? So when a new SRE is getting onboarded, you need materials including training materials, comprehensive training plan, checklist, role-playing training drills. So for example, for educational tools for training team members, say maybe a Wheels of Fortune exercise that presents an outage scenario to the team, set of data and signals that hypothetical on-call SRE team need to use as an input to resolve the outage, and etc., etc. They also need a repository to be managed and maintained with all the training materials. Now finally, documents for service decommissioning. Once the service reach end of state, SREs decommission them in a predictable fashion. We need messaging and documentation guideline on how are we going to decommission it. So announcing of decommissioning, update main document pages, playbooks and code labs, FAQs on the project, everything is required. So this ends the 2 sessions on documents, important documents that span from new service onboarding, running a service, production to products, running SRE teams, report service state, new SRE onboarding and service decommissioning. As usual, the references, the Bible of SRE are these Google Docs, Google Books, and until we see next time, thank you.